Today we're making this raspberry lemon loaf with a lemon glaze. It is so delicious. It's perfect for spring. You can make this one for breakfast, for brunch, or dessert, and it's great for Easter, Mother's Day, or really any day of the week because it is so moist and yummy. You guys are gonna absolutely love this one. We're gonna get started by just getting our butter softened on the countertop, and we also wanna take our eggs out. We have 4 eggs that we need to put on the countertop about an hour or so before we start the recipe. For our prep work, we're gonna start with a 6-ounce container of raspberries. You can see mine's a doubled one, but I already used the other half. Just give this a really good rinse. You can soak it in lemon juice or some vinegar if you want to, and then just make sure these raspberries are really nice and dried. We also need a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest, which is just that outer portion. I like to use a microplane to zest this, and just make sure to move that lemon around so you're not just grating the white spot over and over again. For this recipe, we need 1.5 cups of flour, and if you're like me, I'm not one to measure things out on a scale. I like to just loosely scoop the measuring cup in my flour, and then I'll take a knife and just tap the top and scrape off the top. This keeps it really nice and loose, not packed in, and it'll give you a pretty accurate measurement. We're gonna add that flour right into a bowl. We also have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're not using baking soda in this recipe, just baking powder. And then you just wanna whisk this together until it's nice and combined. Next, we wanna preheat our oven to 350 degrees, and then we're gonna get a 10-inch bread pan ready. I like to just take a piece of parchment paper, a really skinny one like this. I'm gonna spray a little bit of vegetable oil inside my pan, and then it's just gonna stick right to it. This helps so much because if you've ever made bread and you can't get it out of the pan, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. This is gonna just make it pop right out at the end. We're gonna run our little knife around the outsides and it's gonna pop right out. Now we're gonna head over to our stand mixer to get everything else blended together. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can just use a large bowl with a hand mixer. Softened butter is super important for this recipe. We are using 2 sticks. This is a grass-fed butter. You can just use regular butter. You don't need to use grass-fed. However, make sure that it's really nice and softened. This is gonna help create air bubbles with the sugar and make it really nice and moist. We are just gonna dump this right into our stand mixer. Then with our 2 sticks of butter, we're gonna add in 1 cup plus 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. We wanna whip these together on medium-low until it gets nice and fluffy, and I'm using the beater attachment. Once we get that butter and sugar really nice and light and fluffy, it usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes, we're gonna add in our eggs. And these are room temperature, but it's gonna be the same thing. So it's helps create a lighter, fluffier batter when you use room temperature eggs. So it's just gonna help that cake be nice and light and fluffy. We're also gonna add in our vanilla extract. We have a little bit of lemon zest and some fresh lemon juice. We're just gonna combine this for a few minutes. Make sure to scrape it on the sides as needed too for this recipe. If it looks chunky, that's fine, it's supposed to, you're good. And then we're gonna add in just a 1/3 cup of sour cream. Sour cream is just the best addition. Okay, then we're gonna give that a good mix in. Once we get that in, we're gonna add in our dry ingredients, and same thing, if it looks curdled, it's supposed to, you're good. We're gonna add our dry ingredients in 2 batches. I like to just do half, mix it in, and then mix the other half in. And this is just gonna be on low speed. We don't want our flour flying out of the bowl. Then once that looks pretty mixed in, we're gonna add in the rest. Now we don't wanna overmix at this point, so as soon as it's pretty mixed up, we're gonna give it a good scrape down the sides because there's definitely some flour that's on the sides of this. So we wanna make sure everything gets really nice and mixed. That's perfect. This looks so good. This is one of my favorite recipes for desserts. I actually really like breads, like banana breads, all those sweet breads, and this one is so good. Okay, so once we get that all mixed up, we are gonna add in about 3/4 of our raspberries, and you wanna make sure these are really nice and dry, like completely dry, and you wanna be really careful when you add them. You wanna just stir them in. We don't wanna break them up or like make the batter pink. We just wanna like give them a really good stir. You almost wanna fold it like this just to get them mixed in. But just make sure you don't mash them, because we do want raspberries in every single piece, but we don't want them all mashed up. Then this is just gonna go right into our bread pan. Once you get this in the bread pan, I like to take a butter knife and just kind of run it over the top just so it smooths it out a little bit. Then we're gonna use those leftover raspberries just to pop on top. I want people to know this is a raspberry loaf, and it just looks so pretty at the end when they're just lined on top like this. This is gonna go in the oven for 60 to 75 minutes. As this bakes, we're gonna make our lemon glaze icing, which is so easy. It only has a few ingredients. Lemon glaze couldn't get any easier. We're just gonna start with some powdered sugar. You can put it in a Pyrex dish or a bowl with some lemon juice and lemon zest, and then just some water. You just wanna whisk this up until it's really nice and combined, and I just leave it at room temperature. You wanna do a toothpick test, and when it comes out nice and with just crumbs, no wetness, it's ready to go ahead and pull out of the oven. You guys, this turned out amazing. The raspberries are perfect. My house smells so good, which is really weird because my husband came home and wanted pot stickers, and I just made them for him, and usually those smell horrible. So I'm like, this must just smell amazing. Okay, now the part you're probably gonna hate me for, but we gotta let this sit for an hour before we try and pull that out of the actual pan. Then we're just gonna run a knife around it and pop it out. It's gonna pop out really easily, but we also need it to cool a little bit because when we pour that glaze on top, we want it to be a little bit cooled off so that it hardens on top. That's it, we're all done with this raspberry lemon loaf. This is such a great spring dessert. It's so moist and so delicious. I really hope you guys try this one. Make sure to give this video a like and make sure to subscribe for new recipes every single week. I love sharing them with you. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, you guys, I'm going in for a bite. This is so tender. This is delicious. The lemon and raspberry goes together so good. Yum. I'm definitely having 2 slices of this.